My name is Naimah Tucker. I am an alumni from Sister Clara Mohammed School out in Newark, New Jersey. Me and Jalil, the brother that went on, we went to the same school. We've been friends since about 5. So alhamdulillah. So just to quickly give a little bit about myself. I'm currently a social worker. All of my education is and background is in social work. I went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which is a HBCU, and I dual degreed in social work there. And then I got my master's from Howard University. So for all of the Howard University people on the call, I sound like and from there, I moved on and opened up May 29th. I opened up my mental health counseling service for children ages 5 through 19 called the Rose Center. And I opened that up in Newark on 24 Commerce Street. So we had just had our grand opening. So alhamdulillah. Sister Clara Mohammed School for me, it meant a lot to me. So Sister Marsha is the teacher for the new building. When I went, we were in the building next door, which is now, the old building. And it meant a lot to me because those relationships that I've made with the students there were lifelong friendships. And I can honestly say that I'm still friends with a lot of them today, if not mostly all of them. And life took us different places, but Islam always brought us back to the core. So I always get to see them at least once or twice a year. So I'm super fortunate for those type of connections, because regardless of where life takes you or what journey you might be on, I feel like Sister Clara Mohammed filled the cup, so to speak. So they instilled in us a lot of the morals and values and discipline that we needed to actually get through life. Little did we know that we would have to actually tap into what we learned many, many years ago. So it was a blessing to be a part of it. The teachers became family. They became like your extended aunts and uncles, and the brothers in the masjid became extended family. So it was where my roots were and still is. It's where my roots lie. The convention was a place where all of us was able to come together. I remember growing up when we used to take Greyhounds, big old charter buses to the convention. And we would drive all the way out to Chicago. And I was a part of this Sunday school as well. So the Sunday school would get on, we would drive all the way out there. And it was like the biggest trip ever for us. Like we used to live for the convention trip. So inshallah, I hope that it gets back to where it once was, and where we can have all of the children come together and they get to experience what we've experienced as children, because that's what kept us. For one of the things that I would love to see in the Sister Clara Mohammed School is what Jalil mentioned, is having those sports and having those different outlets. The Liberty Science Center, I love that idea, and having a partnership with Newark, the Newark Library. Love that idea, but just having different outlets so that kids won't feel like they're missing out on things by attending our institution. It really, me going myself, I didn't really more so feel like I missed out on anything. But as I got older, I think that is where I knew what I wanted to do for a living. I would see different things within my community, and then I would go to school and we would talk about not just curriculum, but also just social justice. And so that's what kind of sparked the little social worker in me to say, okay, well, this is what I want to do when I get older. So Sister Clara Mohammed really planted the seed, and, they watered it, they let it grow. And, and to today, me having my own business, it really meant a lot to me to want to give back. I think one of the things that we should focus on too, as well, is the mental health component. We should have a mental health component in Sister Clara Mohammed schools. It should be either a school counselor, a social worker that can give therapy to the kids, crisis intervention. Because even though, these children are going to an Islamic school, when they step outside, it's the real world. It's very, very much the real world. And they're dealing with real world issues, problems, day-to-day life as any other child, and they're trying to figure it all out. So it should definitely be a mental health component where, whether it's virtually, which was a great idea, I can definitely offer my services as well, but just making sure that these kids have an emotional outlet, and outside of just a spiritual outlet, being able to tap in to their own coping skills is so important. It's
Yes.
it's survival. It's survival.
Yeah. Naimah, I don't mean to cut you off, but Naimah is. I want to say this. I think there is a balance between religion and understanding life also outside of the masjid. And there are things that need to be corrected. And like Naimah said, whether it's mental health, whether it's sports, whether it's programs, there's a balance between religion, there's a balance between schooling, and there's a balance between personal life. And I think those things help shape me and Naimah and a lot of our alumni colleagues to be who they are today. And I think it is very important that, yes, it is very important that we are in school and we are making salah and we understand the Quran and we understand the Muslim values. But I also think it's important for a child to understand what's going on in their mental, a child to understand that there's a soccer ball, a child to understand that there's an art program, a child to understand that there's, tutoring programs, whatever it may be. So I just want to piggyback off that. I do apologize for cutting you off. Naimah, we can't hear you.
Oh, wait, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. So psychoeducation is, yes, definitely. I didn't mind you expanding on that, but psychoeducation is so important for the children, especially when we're talking about children in these urban areas. One of the main reasons why I opened up the Rose Center was because I seen a need in the urban area and mental health. It's almost no correlation, like it's almost not even synonymous. So, people, they go through day-to-day PTSD and they normalize that, and that's their everyday life. And whether it's North New Jersey, where crime it's not as bad as it once was, but it's still crime. And you have Chicago and different areas, Memphis, different areas in the country, all over the country, where these children need a day-to-day outlet and to develop coping skills from the inside out. And while they're focusing on their spirituality, while they're focusing and learning different curriculum for them to be able to get through one grade to the next, a lot of these children are trying to get from 1 hour to the next, 1 day to the next. So we got to make sure that they're mentally strong and they're emotionally intelligent enough to make sure that they strive throughout life outside of Sister Clara Mohammed School. So I thank you all for your time. And this was beautiful. This was beautiful. It made me actually feel good, because sometimes when you don't see if it in front of you, you feel like a lot of what you once knew is gone, right? And you see the numbers dwindling and you kind of lose a little bit of hope, or you lose a little bit of stamina about it. So this just sparked a fire under me, seeing the youth in other cities actually experiencing what I did. So it made me so proud. So thank you again for having me. And inshallah, I'll be able to work with some of you soon. Assalamu alaikum.